Welcome to A Line Through Time, where I take the time to look through your favourite franchises and work out how it all lines up. Let's kick off Series 2 with something actually simple for fucking once, eh? I've already covered the mess that is Street Fighter, go and watch it if you haven't. So let's take a look at Capcom's other hit fighting series. What? No, not that one either. Stop fucking with me, future me, I'm not in the mood. Yes, what a thought. Darkstalkers. On the 30th of June 1994, Capcom released an arcade fighting game called Vampire: The Night Warriors. Yes, Capcom Japan displays its incredible naming ability once again. Fortunately, the Western branches knew this was stupid, so they renamed the series from Vampire to Darkstalkers, which is way better. We're the Darkstalkers! The game was conceived as a fighting game featuring Universal's monster lineup like Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, etc. However, Universal, presumably still butthurt over losing that lawsuit against Nintendo a decade prior, refused to let Capcom make use of their public domain characters, leading producer Alex Jimenez to make a bunch of new characters based on the monsters, supposedly within an hour. From this, Dracula became Dmitry Maximoff, the Wolfman became John Talbane, etc. I'm not really sure where Morrigan or Felicia came from, but the series is definitely better with sexy succubi and cat girls than without. Anyway, the game was basically Street Fighter 3 with sexy monster girls, so of course people liked it, leading to a sequel in '95, Night Warriors: Darkstalkers Revenge. The Japanese release was even called Vampire Hunter: Darkstalkers Revenge because Capcom Japan saw the English title and said, shit, that's actually way better than what we came up with. I suppose Street Fighter Alpha and Street Fighter 3 should have been the tip-off that the people at Capcom Japan are fucking crazy, because DS2 actually has the same plot as the original, even down to the same endings for the original game's cast, just with some newcomers added. It's like if Ultra Street Fighter 4 was released as Street Fighter 5. As such, this game actually replaces the original in the timeline. 1997's Vampire Savior: The Lord of Vampire, or Darkstalkers 3, actually does feature a new story and new antagonists, making it the first proper sequel in the series. There were about 3 different versions released in Japan, but I'm not sure which was used for the Western release. The next release was 2000's Vampire Chronicle for Matching Service, later ported to the PSP as Darkstalkers Chronicle: The Chaos Tower, which features all versions of the characters from the previous games. Oh, it's a compilation release. Oh, okay, sorry about that. The next release was 2005's Vampire Darkstalkers Collection. Wait, another collection? Alright. Oh, here we go. In 2013, Iron Galaxy, the team that makes Killer Instinct now, produced Darkstalkers Resurrection, which is it's a compilation of DS2 and 3. There really hasn't been anything new of substance since 1997. I mean, there's drama CDs in comics and manga, but who even knows if those are canon? The retroactively ironically titled Resurrection was Capcom's way of gauging interest in a new Darkstalkers, because the surest way to gauge fan interest is to re-release an old game and see how many fans are willing and able to buy the same game again. I don't know, I guess I expected a fighting series from Capcom that's been around for over 20 years would have more than 3 main entries, but apparently not. Why then they chose to dedicate 3 entire roster slots in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Vanilla to Darkstalkers is beyond me. Instead of gauging fan interest through HD ports, maybe Capcom should take a chance for once and just make DS4 as a DLC platform like Street Fighter 5. They could probably also pull in some guest characters to garner more attention. But all we have as canon are Darkstalkers 2 and 3. Now, according to the first game's manual, main antagonist Pyron, who is basically just Galactus if he was on fire, formed on Earth in 1991, later corroborated by the Darkstalkers graphic file. I also found a plot guide that corroborated this with the claim that DS1 took place in 1991. That same guide alleges, however, that Darkstalkers 2 retcons the story's timeframe back to 1983, while DS3 occurs in 1999. This I find questionable. Morrigan's father is killed by DS3 antagonist Jeddah Doma by the time Morrigan returns to the Makai realm after DS2. Dimitri then prepares to challenge Morrigan for control of Makai right as Jeddah's final plan begins, leading into DS3. I seriously doubt Jeddah and Dimitri would both wait 16 years before making their moves. It seems much more likely to occur only a short time later, even shorter than 1991 to 1999. You could argue they might be recovering from death and the battle with Pyron respectively, but I still can't see it taking 8 years or more to get going. Additionally, the DS2 manual retains Pyron's year of birth as 1991, which is impossible if the plot now occurs 8 years prior. And yes, he could have been waiting 3 years until 1994 when the first game released, but 1991 is the only solid date we have surrounding the game's events, so we're going with that. As such, I'm going to place both games in 1991. If you think this is shoddy research, then you'll just have to help me get a bigger following so I'll have people I can actually ask when I'm not sure. The onus is entirely on you guys. But in all seriousness, if you have any official proof to the contrary, then by all means share it and I'll add a... Oh, wait, YouTube's phasing annotations out, isn't it? I guess I'll just add an update to the description like we're back in 2007. I'm also going to include key backstory details and major character births here. Morrigan was born in 1678, Dimitri in 1483, and Jeddah around 6,000 years ago. No one really knows when Pyron was born. Also, both games feature additional backstory events set sometime in the 1800s. Dimitri challenged Morrigan's father Belial and lost, and Jeddah was killed at the end of the 19th century until his resurrection 100 years later in DS3. And since DS3 is the end of the timeline and there's no definitive canonical outcome, I'd like to imagine that Jeddah's Capcom Fighting Evolution ending where Dante shows up is the canonical ending, thereby allowing the rest of the Darkstalkers to live on in secret in the Devil May Cry universe. Hell, I may even throw Darkstalkers in there when I cover that series again. But until then, the Darkstalkers timeline goes a little something like this. Circa 4000 BC. Jeddah Doma is born in the Makai realm. 1483. Dmitri Maximov is born in Romania. 1678. A powerful succubus named Morrigan is born in Scotland. The ruler of the Makai realm, Belial Eamsland, splits her soul to reduce her power and adopts her as his daughter. 1800s. Dimitri challenges Belial for control of Makai. Dimitri is defeated and exiled from the realm. Jeddah attempts to harness the energies within the gate of Makai, but the energies prove too powerful and Jeddah is killed. 1991. The alien conqueror Pyron arrives on Earth and challenges the creatures of the Makai realm. Dimitri defeats Pyron and consumes him. Belial is killed due to the revived Jeddah's machinations, leaving Morrigan as the ruler of Makai. Dimitri prepares to challenge Morrigan for control of Makai when Jeddah creates the Magigan Dimension. He summons the most powerful creatures of Makai as part of his plan to fuse all souls into one life form. Morrigan battles her other half, Lilith, and the two fuse back into one being. Jeddah is later confronted and defeated. The Darkstalkers series is basically dead, unfortunately. I don't know, DOA sells well with sexy ladies, so you'd think a game that's basically Street Fighter with sexy monster girls would sell really well, but apparently not. You'd also think that I'd pick a series with an interesting timeline rather than an interesting development history. But see, the thing is... April Fools, motherfuckers!
We're the Darkstalkers!
Pyron, intergalactic collector of planets, wants the Earth, and he's going to get it, even if he has to wake the undead.